providing some new details about the Wolfe County woman facing charges after troopers say she had an abortion using medication she ordered online. It's a story we first brought you as breaking news at noon. We have since gotten our hands on a copy of that woman's arrest citation. WKYT's Samantha Valentino walking us through this breaking news update.
This is 35-year-old Melinda Spencer. Kentucky State Police arrested her last night on charges of fetal homicide, abuse of a corpse, and evidence tampering. Troopers say Spencer used abortion pills she purchased online to terminate her pregnancy. According to her arrest citation, Spencer later went to a clinic in Campton and told them she'd had a medical abortion at home. That clinic called police. When troopers spoke with Spencer, they say she admitted to ordering abortion pills online, saying she wanted to abort the pregnancy because the baby wasn't her boyfriend's. KSP says Spencer took the pills Friday and the abortion happened on Saturday. That's when Spencer told troopers she placed the fetus in a light bulb box and buried it in her backyard. Troopers didn't say how far along Spencer was, only that the fetus was a male, but an autopsy is scheduled to determine the fetal age. Now, Kentucky has a near total ban on abortion. A doctor can only perform an abortion to prevent death or serious injury to the person pregnant. There are no exceptions for rape or incest. Kentucky does not currently have a law that restricts traveling to another state for abortion care. Some nearby states do have abortion access. In Ohio and Virginia, there are some restrictions, including a ban after 20 weeks. Abortion is legal and protected in Illinois, with access guaranteed up to fetal viability.
So this woman that you see on your screen is 35-year-old Melinda Spencer from Lexington, Kentucky. All right. So she has been arrested because she had an abortion. And in Kentucky, it is illegal to have an abortion. So I guess she found out she was pregnant, but not by her boyfriend, but by her lover. And so she decided to go get this medication offline and then take it, and then the next day straight up have the abortion. She buried the baby in a shallow grave in her backyard. Then she goes to the clinic and she tells the clinic, yeah, I had an at-home abortion. So the clinic calls the detectives. The detectives come to the clinic and they question her. So while the other detectives are going to her home on the 3700 block of Flat Mary Road, they find the shallow grave in her backyard and dug up the baby and say that this is a fully developed male. Okay. But they don't know the gestation of the fetus. They don't know if it's 24 months, 30 months, 30 weeks, 24 weeks, whatever. She had the abortion. She didn't want her boyfriend to know that the baby wasn't his. So now they took her to Three Forks Regional Jail. And she is facing first-degree fetal homicide, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with physical evidence. She is facing life imprisonment or the death penalty for this. So all she had to do was just fly out of the state and go get the abortion. And she would have been okay. Nothing would have happened to her. Or nothing. She could just took the pills in another state. I don't understand it. But this lady is facing real hard consequences for her actions. And now they're taking this stuff very seriously in these states where you cannot have an abortion. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head.
So, 35-year-old Melinda Spencer has been charged with fetal homicide in the first degree, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with physical evidence. Now, this happened yesterday in Kentucky around 2 p.m. when authorities got a phone call from a clinic saying that a woman did an abortion at her home and she was in clinic now. When authorities got there, they interviewed her and got some information from her so that they can proceed forward. And she politely let them know that she did order something offline and she took that. It caused her to abort an infant male. She decided to go ahead and bury the infant in the back of her property in a shallow grave. Now, Kentucky pretty much has a total ban on abortion, so of course they was rushed to go ahead and lock her up. So of course they did and given her 3 charges. Now, they have not confirmed the information about the infant that was on the property, but I'm sure those details will be coming out soon since this just happened yesterday. But I am sure that it's on the way and testing to confirm that the baby did come from her and not somebody else, like she covering for somebody and things of that sort. But as of now, she does have those 3 charges. It does seem like she's been providing them the information that they needed for said charges. So we shall see what happens with Melinda in Kentucky.
Looks like we have a Lakin Snelling 2.0. This right here is 35-year-old Melinda Spencer of Campton, Kentucky. And on Wednesday, December 31st, 2025, she went to the Union Clinic and voluntarily disclosed to staff members that she had aborted her pregnancy at home. It seems like her visit to this clinic was due to complications that she was experiencing with her body after the fact. Authorities ended up being contacted by the medical staff and responding to the clinic, where they interviewed Melinda, and she told them that she had ordered abortion medication online and taken that medication in order to terminate her pregnancy. She stated that the medication she took did in fact result in the infant's death. She also told authorities that after the infant had died, she buried him in a shallow grave in her backyard. Detectives ended up obtaining a search warrant for her property. They went to her residence on Flat Mary Road, found the shallow grave in her backyard, and dug up what they said was a fully developed male infant. Kentucky State Police ended up arresting Melinda and charging her with first-degree fetal homicide, abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and promoting contraband. Melinda was booked into the Three Forks Regional Jail on January 1st, 2026 as she awaits her arraignment. If she is convicted of the current charges that she's facing, she's looking at a sentence anywhere between 20 years to life in prison. Though I wouldn't be surprised if she gets some sort of deal for lesser time, as she did voluntarily admit to what she had done, and that's probably not going to be overlooked by the prosecution. What do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Authorities are saying that the case remains active and ongoing.
She induced the abortion of her baby because the child was not her boyfriend's, and she didn't want her boyfriend to find out she had cheated and that she was pregnant by another man. She was arrested, needless to say. A Kentucky woman is accused of taking medication to cause the death of her unborn son, and she then allegedly buried him in her backyard in a shallow grave. Absolutely unreal. So this is 35-year-old Melinda Spencer, and she has been charged with first-degree fetal homicide, abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and first-degree promoting contraband. She was booked into the Three Forks Regional Jail yesterday on Thursday, January 1st, New Year's Day. According to the Kentucky State Police, a woman was at the United Clinic in Campton, Kentucky, and disclosed that she had aborted her baby, her pregnancy, at home. Employees of the clinic then reportedly contacted state police. This was on Wednesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve, at around 2:30 p.m. An investigation was then started. Reportedly, abortion is essentially banned in the state of Kentucky. It's only permitted if the mother is at risk of death or serious injury. The state is considered most restrictive when it comes to policies regarding abortion. So investigators eventually interviewed Melinda, and she reportedly told them that she had ordered the medication on the internet in order to complete an abortion. She did indeed take the medication, and that unfortunately resulted in the death of a developed male infant. She then reportedly buried the infant on the backside of her property in a shallow grave. There was yet another thing she admitted in her interview with authorities, though. She allegedly admitted to them that the baby was not her boyfriend's and that she didn't want her boyfriend to find out she was pregnant, because then he would have known she was cheating. She further says she began to take the medication on December 26th of 2025 25, so about a week ago, and that she then delivered the fetus on the very next day on December 27th. That was a Saturday, I believe. After her interview with police, officers then went to her home, and they found the infant in that shallow grave that Melinda had described to them. It was said in the grave there was a white grocery sack filled with a light bulb box wrapped in Christmas wrapping paper, and the child's remains were in a white rag. They were wrapped up in that rag. She was eventually arrested, and reportedly the case is still under investigation. An autopsy was scheduled to be performed to determine the child's gestational age or how long the child had been growing inside Melinda's womb. According to reports, first-degree fetal homicide is indeed a capital offense with Kentucky law. This is unreal, and that poor baby cannot help his mom cheated and got pregnant with him. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. For more true crime, be sure to follow and subscribe if you're over on YouTube.
This case has sparked huge debate here in Kentucky. So this is Melinda. She got some abortion pills, ordered them offline, took the pills, aborted her baby the next day, buried him in her backyard. She went to the doctor, told the doctor that she had performed an at-home abortion, which is illegal. They contacted the Kentucky State Police. The Kentucky State Police went and interviewed her. Melinda told them that it was not her boyfriend's baby and that she did not want him to find out that she was carrying another man's child. And that's why this was done. The official police report does say that it was a developed male infant, and that's what's getting everybody. That is what's sparking the huge debate. How far along was she for it to be a developed male infant? And a lot of people are also saying that the pills that she took only work up to like 10 weeks gestation. However, if you search online, there are some that are marketed for after 10 weeks. So we don't know how far along she was. We don't know which medication she got. So until more details come out, we can't speak on that. But I want to know your all's thoughts. But by the way, the infant was found. They are performing an autopsy. So I will keep you all updated. But what do you all think? What side of the fence are you all on? Do you think that she should have had access to legal female care for this? Or do you all believe that abortion is completely wrong and it should remain illegal?